Hello and welcome to Exclusive Diaries. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and leave a like. Story 1. I, 23F, met E, 23M, in the 6th grade when we were both 11 years old. We were best friends since that, really inseparable, practically joined by the hip. We started dating when we were 14 and never stopped. We were the typical teenage couple. We had our fair bit of stupid fights, but overall our relationship was pretty mature given our ages. E-family practically adopted me when my parents died when I was 17. My parents died in a car accident and they were strangled for their families, so I had no one else to go. His mom loves me and my relationship with the rest of his siblings is pretty good. He has one older brother, 25M, and two younger sisters, 19F, 17F. I considered his family as my own. They helped me so much since my parents died. They let me move in with them, they paid for my college and rent. I live with E, and they pay our rent. They are really supportive of us, and his mom have a heart of the size of the entire F*** world, I swear. E is tall, 6 feet 3 inches, absolutely gorgeous, easygoing, funny, really F*** smart. He speaks 5 languages and is attending med school. Everyone likes him. Me on the other hand, I'm pretty common. I would give myself a 7/10 on a good day. Despite all that, he was always jealous and insecure about me. He is absolutely terrified of me cheating on him. His aunt cheated on his uncle who later committed suicide. They were really close and that gave him some severe mental scars. Given that he was always a bit controlling of me hanging around with male friends and make me promise him that I would never cheat on him 1,000 times. Earlier this year in February, I started spending a bit of more time with my friends and as a result, I wasn't spending much time with him. This started our biggest argument so far. He argued that I was prioritizing my friends, male friends specifically. He tried to make me cut one of my closest friends that he didn't like it. I wasn't gonna do that and we ended screaming at each other. This led to a day that I was supposed to go to a party with my friends at night. He asked me to no go there because my friend was going to be there. I told him no. Before I left, he told me that he was feeling sick. He told me that he was feeling a headache and a slight fever. He asked me to stay home and order some food and watch a movie with him. We started to argue. He screamed at me and I left. I am gonna try to make this short and not graphic. I meet with 3 of my friends there, drink more than I should, got really drunk, went to lay down in one of the rooms in the house that the party was happening, fell asleep, and woke up with my 3 friends raping me. I was able to scream and one girl who was in the bathroom heard me up and came to help me. Soon other people started showing up and in the end, the guys who did it were beaten up too close to death. I was taken to a hospital after that. 2 of the guys are in jail right now and the other was able to dodge prison because he didn't have taken his turn yet. To say that this whole thing fucked me up is an understatement. I was diagnosed with depression and PTSD. It was bad, really F*** bad. I started having this panic attacks where I couldn't breathe and the only thing that made me feel better was E. If he was there I didn't have any panic attacks, but if he left for more than 30 minutes, now is a bit better. I am able to be away from him for about 7 to 8 hours without feeling terrified. I started to freak the F*** out. I was probably one of the few people who were grateful for the lockdown. LOL, a mix of obsessive attachment with anxiety, my therapist said. He was my goddamn hero. He cooked for me, made sure that I was eating, made sure that I was taking my meds, drove me to my therapist and psychiatrist appointments. He started showering with me, because it was the only way that I was comfortable being nude. Don't ask me to explain why. He held me down when I started sobbing at random moments at the day. I used to have night terrors, and the only way to this day I can fall asleep is with my head on his chest. He is the only person who makes me feel safe. Basically he and his family, his mom helped us a lot. She was the one who delivered groceries to our apartment because he couldn't leave or else I started to panic, were the ones responsible for me not killing myself. Our sex life was pretty good before the incident. We lost our virginities to each other when we were 16 and we were each other's firsts and only in everything, even kissing. He has an insane high libido. For him we could have sex 7 times a day and he could keep up for hours, but we normally did once or twice a day and I always blew him at least once a day. He always pressured me a bit for more sex and was always hurt when I refused, but overall our sex life was pretty healthy. After the thing, he never, ever mentioned or tried to initiate sex or any type of thing like that. I started to feel comfortable with kissing him around the end of August, but he only gave me short pecks and he didn't seem to enjoy them. These days when I tried to give him a more elaborate kiss he pulls away. In the middle of September, I was finally feeling good enough with myself to have sex again. I put on some fancy lingerie and tried to initiate, but once he saw what I was trying to do, he pulled away, gave me a kiss on the forehead, said that he was tired, and went to sleep. This doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is. Ever since we had sex for the first time 7 years ago, he never shot me down when I tried to initiate, not even once, and the longest time that we spent without having sex was 4 days. Before the whole thing, obviously, every time that I tried to initiate sex he always gave me an excuse. He was not in the mood, he was tired, he was busy, and like I said before, he has the libido of a porn star, and I caught him masturbating before, so that didn't change. My twisted mind thought he was cheating on me, even though that the max time that he spent away from me in these days is for about 4 or 5 hours, so yesterday I snooped through his phone. Yes, after all the things he has done for me, I did this. Yes, I am a horrible girlfriend, and he wasn't cheating on me, but I find out something that I honestly don't know if is better or worse than cheating. He was talking to his older brother about us. The main facts that I discovered were this: that he blames himself for letting me go to that party. That every time I tried to initiate sex, the only thing he is able to think is the other 3 guys being inside me, and how wrong the thought of other guys being inside of me made him feel sick. That how our special thing for us was lost. The special thing is that we lost our virginities to each other and never had sex with anyone else. He used to say that in the future he will brag to our future grandchildren about how in the age of hookups we only had sex with each other. This may seem dumb, but it was something that he was really proud of, because he is really romantic in that sense, and his parents were each other onlys, and they were pretty much the perfect couple. That before the incident he bought a ring and was going to propose to me, but he feels like he started to see me more like one of his sisters, and that the lust that he had for me now feels like fraternal love. His brother responded that he had to suck it up and stay with me at least until I get totally healed. He said to him that he wasn't sure if I was going to heal completely. I read all these things last night, Reddit, and I really don't know what to do. The thought of not being with him makes me feel terrified. We were supposed to grow old together, he had our whole life planned already, we even discussed baby names. He is absolutely perfect, and I don't want to lose him. I have a therapy appointment next Monday, but I don't think I'm able to keep this to myself until then. I'm really desperate here, any advice is really appreciated. Sorry for the long post, I feel like I needed to vent a little. Story 2. I won't go into details about the titular incident, but I'll have sole custody of the baby. I'm now about 35 weeks pregnant, so real 11th hour stuff here. My boyfriend and I have been together nearly 3 years. When we first found out I was pregnant, we hoped that the baby could be his, but a test proved it was not. I was early enough at that point to terminate, and I considered it, but my boyfriend said that he wanted to be there for me and the baby, and that he was ready for this, if I was ready, too. I told him to take some time to think it over, and after a few weeks, he told me he was certain that this was what he wanted. Now he's changing his mind. I'm about 95% sure this is related to his family, as he went to see them in person for the first time in months last weekend. He had to tell them about the nature of the conception, as the baby won't look like him. He came back Sunday night. I asked how it went, as he'd been ignoring my texts, but he just said he wanted to go to bed and we'd talk in the morning. Monday morning, there was no talk, and when I went to kiss him, he pulled away. It's now Thursday, and our conversation all week has been limited to me asking questions and him giving one-word responses. Then earlier today, some baby furniture arrived. I started putting it together. Then my boyfriend came home and I asked him to help. He said, "Your kid, do it yourself." I asked where that came from, as he's been saying this is our baby 4 months now. He said, "Well, it's not our baby, is it?" I asked if we could talk about this, but he said he has to get some work done and we'll talk in the morning, and then he shut himself in the office. I made dinner, asked him if he'd eat with me, and he said he'd take his meal in the office. I brought it in and asked him if he'd come to bed, and he said he was going to sleep in the office tonight. There's a sofa. I walked past about 20 minutes ago and heard snoring. I am currently alone in bed, about 5 weeks off giving birth, and my boyfriend, who said we could do this together, is sleeping in the next room and has done a 180 on me since visiting his parents. I don't know what to do. I don't want to pressure him into being a dad if he doesn't want to. My mother didn't want to be a mom, and I grew up feeling unloved/unwanted, and that isn't what I want for my kid. But I don't want to lose him either. I love him, I can see a future with him, but that future has to include this baby because we are way too late in the game to change that detail. Edit, to the people saying I should have aborted or I should adopt the baby out, I have considered everything you're saying, extensively, but it's too late for the first and I can't go through with the second. I am keeping this child. Is there anything I can do? Something I can say to fix it or reassure him or something? Is this more likely to be down to his parents given the timing, or is he just choosing now to say something? TLDR, boyfriend said he wanted to raise this child with me despite it not being his, but this last week he's changed his mind. How do I continue from here? Thank you for watching.